Hey beautiful people of the internet, my name is Ryan and thank you so much. So I was gone last week because moving, new apartment, all of that stress, etc. But while I was gone, two huge things happened for the channel. One, we hit 2,000 subscribers. Two, I got two brand new roommates, and with that comes the brand new anxiety of wondering whether or not they can hear me yelling at my camera. In all seriousness, I am so moved by the fact that the channel somehow has 2,000 subscribers. By the time I'm filming this, it has like 2,080 or something, because I just checked this morning. But that is insane to me, 2,000 people. I have a lot of trouble even picturing what that looks like, 2,000 people in one place. And so it's really kind of just hard to think about in terms of like imagining who watches these videos. And it's been kind of weird for me to even process, but it's really cool, so thank you. About a week ago, Elizabeth from Mountain City Books actually commented on a video of mine from a year ago, where in that video I had just like reached 100 subscribers and was a little like tongue-tied for how to talk about how many people that is. And now here we are, still tongue-tied. So I'm here today with this video to celebrate you guys and to say thank you to you all. And I'm gonna do that by answering you guys' questions. 3 straight days of video, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because otherwise this would be a really long video, and also because I wanna kind of do something special to celebrate this time on the channel. I might miss some questions here or there, but I wanna try and get to all of them. I want to let you guys know how thankful I am. I don't think I can say that enough. So let's get to it. Okay, so first question, possibly the most important question I was asked, which is Sarah Burgess's question of what Harry Potter house are you in? First off, I would be super interested to hear what house you guys think that I'm in, because that tells me a lot more about how I'm perceived. But the answer that I am like a little bit proud of and also a little bit ashamed of every time I talk to a Slytherin is that I am in Gryffindor. So Gryffindor pride. Question number 2 is from Ben Lane, who asks, can you give us a tour of your bookshelf? Well, the problem is that I just moved in, and so none of this is sorted, which makes me cringe a tiny bit, and it's gonna have to be fixed soon, but I guess the answer to your question is maybe as soon as I sort my books. Speaking of Slytherins who make me feel guilty for being a Gryffindor, Jess over at Rebel Reads asked me some very interesting questions, which I had to do some really hard thinking about. First is, what are your 3rd, 7th, and 10th favorite bands / musicians? And I actually do have a list, so I looked at that. 3rd is Arcade Fire, 7th is Adult Jazz, and 10th is Future Islands. Number 2, what do you love most about Ghost? Ghost is Jess's Alaskan Malamute, and oh my god, his face is the answer to that question. He has the cutest, like, oh, it's just so cute. You should go over to her Twitter or to her YouTube channel and tell her to create a new YouTube channel just for Ghost, because it would be the greatest thing. Number 3, if you could witness any event in history, which would you choose? I would absolutely have loved, this is cheating, by the way, but I would have loved to have been there when the Curiosity rover landed on Mars. Were any humans there? No. Would I like to be the first? Yes. Number 4, do you have a superpower? Yes, my superpower is making situations more awkward than they should be. Speaking of music, there were a whole bunch of questions about music, and I'm gonna try and answer some of them here. So comment number 4 was from Declan Rush, who said, are your musical tastes as experimental as your tastes for literature? A, I'm not really sure that my taste in literature is very experimental at all. Like, some of the experimental stuff I read, I don't talk about here on the channel. And B, I would say my musical tastes are probably less, like, I'm much less proud of my musical tastes. So I guess no is the short answer. Have you ever listened to Radiohead, and what type of music do you listen to? And then also, have you ever listened to Joanna Newsom? A, I freaking love both Radiohead and Joanna Newsom. Joanna Newsom I found out about this summer actually, and her lyrics are thebomb.com. Then more generally, what type of music I listen to? I listen to a lot of just like alternative rock kind of stuff. A little bit of like electronic, but mostly alternative rock. Especially like early 2000s, late 1990s, like American Football, Explosions in the Sky, like early Death Cab. That is kind of like that's my stuff, you know, that's it. LCD Soundsystem or Postal Service. I like LCD Soundsystem, but I am one of those people who went to see Postal Service when they had their like 10-year reunion tour. I was in the 2nd row. It was possibly like the happiest night of my life. I was like 20 years old. It was just a few years ago. Yeah, it was like 3 years ago. Don't know why, I just looked at my watch. So, Postal Service. Marshall asks, are you the type of person to analyze lyrics and beats of songs to find out why you feel the things it makes you feel? So, like, yes/no. yes to lyrics, because that is something that I feel confident about, and like I feel that I at least have like a basic understanding of how a lyric works, in the same way that I have a little bit of a feeling about how poems and writing work to like drag up certain emotions, or to like structure you towards certain emotions. But beats, I have no freaking clue what I'm doing with beats. So no. Okay, 3 very related questions, as you're gonna see here in a minute. 1, current favorite music, the band, the 1975. 2, celebrity crush, Matt Healy from the 1975, as you can see by that picture I made in a video like a few weeks ago. And 3, Sadie, who always leaves like such smart comments, left this really brilliant comment. Sadie basically asks, what are your thoughts on fandoms and fan culture, like in music or in literature? I have very strong feelings about fandoms. I like participate in some, like David Foster Wallace and the 1975 as well. First off, the first thing I should say is that I am a huge opponent of when people attack fandoms for being like places where bandwagoners get together, and they don't think about what they're consuming. They just like love a thing unashamedly, and they, you know, they're not smart about it. They just like hop on a bandwagon. I have never found that to be true. I think fandoms and like groups of people who are passionate about something are one of the most amazing results of like a piece of art being created. A community is then created who is so passionate about that thing that they like produce their own like material about the thing, or they just like talk about it in conversations in a way that appreciates the piece of art in like to a whole new level, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, but for me in particular, this is my like favorite thing to talk about, by the way, so I'm gonna get like really worked up. It's the exact reason I made that Why Do People Hate Infinite Jest video, because for me in particular, I love fandoms that are related to like a person who makes music or art, or a band who makes music or art that is super aware of the fandom that they have. I'm actually going to use the 1975 to talk about this. Like, they have this first album, which I absolutely love, and the second album, which I absolutely love, but they're very different. And the thing that happened in between those 2 albums is that they got very popular. Not crazy popular, but popular enough. Like, that second album is so much about celebrityhood and fandoms and like how you lose your personhood when you become a famous person, which is why I do not envy famous people. So long story short, fandoms are super interesting to me, and I also participate in them. So, have you ever read a novel by Cormac McCarthy? Yes, I've actually read The Road like 3 times now, but I haven't read any other Cormac McCarthy. I'm feeling really inadequate right about now. Elizabeth asked, what things do you miss about summertime in the Midwest? And are there any foods you miss that you can't get where you live now? God, that is a good question. I only think about this like every single day. First off, favorite thing about summertime in the Midwest is fireflies, because they don't freaking have them out here in California. Pisses me off. So, actually my answer to this question is fireflies late at night while you are sitting in the bed of a truck watching like either sunset or fireworks. Yeah, that is the distilled version of my Midwest that I love and miss. And the foods that I miss, which I could probably actually get out here if I tried hard enough, but I just don't, are chicken and noodles and mashed potatoes, like that for dinner, and then pork tenderloins, because like my section of Indiana specifically has like 4 or 5 places with just amazing breaded pork tenderloins. So good. Okay, just a few more. Should I study something that I'm passionate about, or something where I can put my personal, unique skills to use? First off, I'm not sure if you understand the like method of what we're doing here. I am in no way qualified to answer a question that hard. And also I'm getting nervous because that's like a big deal, and I don't want to screw your life up. Pass. Just kidding. Okay, so I know that this is like an idealistic answer to this question, but in my eyes, in a perfect world, you find that thing that you are passionate about, and you study it, or you like engage with it, you learn more about it, and through that process you get to the point where you have personal unique skills that can then be put to use like in a field that is related to that. And if you're lucky, there's even a job out there that will pay you to do it. But I don't know why you're asking the English major in the room about jobs. Do you ever get the feeling that they are out to get you? Only when I read Thomas Pynchon, which has been a lot this summer. So yes, a lot this summer. Have you read House of Leaves? No, but I actually own it now. I have an absolutely beautiful copy, and I am really looking forward to reading this at some point over the next year. Fingers crossed. Okay, and the final one, Stefan asks the question that is on everyone's mind. How is 100 Years of Solitude going, Ryan? Well, it's sitting over there, and I haven't quite finished it, but I am going to finish it tonight, actually. So, I will make a video about it pretty soon. Like, within a week of you seeing this video, there will be a video on 100 Years of Solitude. I promise. In fact, I'm really liking it. It took me a while to get into it. The family tree in that book is nuts in a, like, really impressive way. But so far, I really enjoy it. Okay, that is all the questions I'm going to answer for today's video. If you didn't see your question answered in this video, I'm going to put out 2 straight days of videos after this one. And you should probably just check in there because I'm going to try to answer it. So, thank you guys once again for leaving these questions. These are good questions. And also, on a much bigger level, for the support that it has taken over the last 2 full years on YouTube. And now, like, to get us to this crazy milestone of 2,000 subscribers doesn't quite feel real, but I am really thankful for it. So, thank you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. And until then, best wishes! Hey, beautiful people of the internet, my name is Ryan, and like the title of this video promises, today I am going to be reviewing the daunting, masterful Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon. And yes, I'm going to say his name wrong the entire video. New apartment is like 95 degrees in the summer, and the sweat is literally like beating on my forehead right now. The things I go through for you guys, Jesus.